Good evening, everyone. Hello from snowy Minnesota, where there is snow on the ground, which means I am extremely happy, or at least as happy as I can be given the circumstances. Boo! Oh gosh, Philip, you scared me. Oh man. Ooh, it was close. After all that shoveling I did yesterday, you almost gave me a heart attack. Anyway, chat, how's it going? We're doing Kerbals again tonight. I don't know how much more Kerbals I can really take anymore at this point. It's I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can do that is like entertaining for me or probably for you. We might just have to say the speedrun was a failure. This is a terrible idea that never should have been undertaken. I mean, KSP 2 is gonna come out by the time this quote-unquote speedrun is complete, so maybe we just go for that instead. All right, what are we doing? Rescue Anzor from orbit of Kerbin. Gather blah 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 blah. Okay, we'll rescue Anzor. Why not? Rescue Jansen from orbit of the sun. I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. So how's everybody's week going? It's the first week of the year. Everybody's getting back into the swing of things after having a wonderful vacation. At least I am. You know, wouldn't it be nice if just every day was a vacation and nobody had to work? Oh well, I guess the technology just isn't there yet, so we'll have to live with it. What is the goal of the speedrun? The goal is to unlock the tech tree in hard career. So currently we have this. Also, the speedrun is using in-game time, which is why you don't see me, like, I'm not running the you know, the time warp here. So we've unlocked this much. We need another. We're actually very close. I think we only need about 20,000 Kerbucks to unlock. Oh no, sorry. 200. We need. What is it? 3,300,000. So no, right click. 3,380,000. So we're, yeah, about 200,000 off still. But then once that's done, that's the max, and then we can grab the gravioli, and that'll also let us do mining. In fact, that's the same technology. So we can do that, and then that'll let us make some self-contained little hoppers. Philip says, someone at work messaged me asking what happened to this great app you guys had. Friend, that app had been offline for 3 years. It wasn't that great. Please don't ever talk to me again. I don't understand software development, so I don't know how that works. All right, let's take a look at our good friend. Yeah, gravioli, ravioli, give me the formuoli. I wish we could unlock it a little earlier in the tech tree. I feel like by the time you get it, you don't need it, but that's where we're at. Wait, did we rescue? No, okay, Maul. We rescued Maul. So Maul, we can terminate that. We need to rescue Anzor. All right, so we'll just let Anzor swing around. Let's check on everybody else. What's going on here? We have Conquistador Mark II landed on the Mun. Was that a rescue mission, chat? I can't remember. Eileen's wreckage is over here. I know we had a... Oh no, it wasn't a rescue mission because we brought it back. I think this was just a mission to plant a flag. I feel like you had somebody in space on their way back. Yeah, Jeb was on his way back a while ago, but he's back now. You're playing this game in real... well, I mean, not real time. I'm going by the in-game time to determine how fast it's going. I mean, chat would not tolerate me playing this in real time like I would like to. Also, I probably would get bored very quickly. Like, Twitch plays KSP, except not nearly as entertaining. All right, Conquista, we don't need the Conquistador. Let me check, do I have any rescue Anzor? We're gonna do that. Science data from space around Kerbin, we can grab that while we're up there. We got that deployed. We're never going to even this save because it'll take too much time. We already determined that. Okay, I guess we're just gonna wait for Anzor to swing around here. Hello! Wait, hold on. MK Ultra. Oh, MK Ultra, I get it. Very, very clever. Matt Lown did a Mun mission in real time. he's a much better content creator than I am, and I'll probably has more time to play KSP. I definitely like the idea of not using time warp, but for the scales involved in most situations, it's kind of necessary. Also, did he do like a full 6-hour video, or did he condense it down? I mean, or if it was a stream, I guess. I haven't followed Matt in a while. That would be so many beans we could unlock, though. Yeah, I guess if I just left the stream on 24/7, you guys could just sit in here. It was a live stream. Oh, okay, let's split into 2 parts. That, you know, that wouldn't be a terrible 12-hour stream one of these days. Maybe to celebrate the launch of KSP 2, we do a real-time MUN mission. Could be good. I don't know what I would do to entertain everybody in the meantime. I'm sure we could figure something out. All right, I think that's where we want them. So let's go ahead and launch. Launch the Rescuer Mark 1, because this is for low Kerbin orbit. Oh boy, Rescuer Mark 1. We'll put Doily back in. Doily, for those of you who are just joining us, is a very important Kerbal to our space program. She was the first to do an EVA-controlled landing on the MUN after her landing craft ran out of fuel due to an oversight on my part. AI-generated Kerbal fanfic. Rilip, you're a genius. Why didn't I think of doing... well, I could generate that right now. Hold on, let me launch this mission first, and then we'll see if we can get something generated for that. Brilliant. Rilip, you really got to put these in the suggestion box, man. That's why I put it there in the Discord. Jeb Kerman always wanted to go to space, but there was one place he wanted to go even more. And then you start put on some sax music, maybe a little Barry White. All right, let's get everything situated.
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
Go, Doily, go. So here we are, we're taking off. I don't exactly remember the ascent profile of this thing. I just remember it's really annoying because of the solid boosters. We do need to keep our thrust to weight reasonably low, or we could result in a flip. So yeah, this is, I guess this would be part 19 of this speedrun. If you make a fanfic that Emmykins disowns you for, that's on you. Well, I'm not making it. Yeah, the AI is technically writing it, I think. I don't know what the rules are. So she can't disown me. And if you're wondering where Emmykins is tonight, she's over on Possibly an Alien stream talking about a show called Mr. Robot, which I have never seen, and it looks a little too intense for me. But that's where she is. And of course, tomorrow, I'm sure everybody knows, I'm sure you're all very excited, Emmykins will be on the stream. She will be in charge. She will be playing games. I will simply be on hand to fix any technical issues and respond to chat if necessary. So if you guys want to see Emmykins suck really badly at Spelunky 2, then that is your opportunity right there. You think I'm bad at that game? Just wait. I'm not bad at that game. I'm definitely in the high intermediate part of that game. Tomario, that's right. It's a me, Tomario. So she will be here. She will be in this chair. She will be wearing the kitty ear headphones. She will be talking to you live. Wait, what? It's the same time as oh no, sorry, not tomorrow. Friday. I forgot it's Wednesday. Yeah, just scratch that. It's Friday because tomorrow I don't stream. Don't show up tomorrow. I won't be here. I mean, I guess you can if you want to. All right, let's drop these. All right, that wasn't so bad. I mean, it was kind of bad, but could have been a lot worse. Where's our target? All right, I am willing to make this a little less optimized if it means we get a faster rendezvous, so let's do it. It doesn't need to be perfectly efficient. We just need to not crash. Star with the false advertising. Listen, that's not even the big announcement, okay? Everybody knew Emmykins was going to be on the stream on Friday. I I have wishful thinking, and I'm hoping that it's almost Friday. Unfortunately, it's only Wednesday. Can I explain the origins of the Star Shard name? Sure. So, back in the early 2000s, when I was a wee lad just getting started on the internet for the first time, I was really big. I don't want to say like really big because that makes it sound like I went to tournaments and stuff. But I played Super Smash Brothers with my friends, and my favorite character was Kirby. So when it came time for me to choose a handle, an online username, I chose the name Kirby Kid 89, which was the year of my birth. So I was Kirby Kid 89 for a few years before realizing, hey, wait a minute, I'm not going to be a kid my whole life. I'm grown up. I'm 12 now, or whatever age it was. And I decided, okay, well, the most recent Kirby game that I'm familiar with is Kirby and the Crystal Shards. But that sounds kind of like girly, and we can't have that because I'm a grown-up man now. So I was like, okay, well, Star Shard sounds pretty good, but I'm sure if I just go with that, it's going to be taken in some places. So I added a 0 at the end because that's a good round number. And it doesn't make it look like I'm the 5th of anything. I'm the original. I'm the 0. And then also it was a reference to the Bahamut Zero summon from Final Fantasy VII. So there you go. That's the origin of my username. Just evolved out of me playing Super Smash Brothers as a kid. And if you have any more questions like that, feel free to ask. We gotta fill time here. That is almost as lame as mine. Really, that's just your name, but with an R instead of a PH. So I don't see why that would. I mean, I guess that is kind of lame. We should have enough Delta V for this, right? We have 531. Yeah, I mean, it says we have 531. I guess I'm not gonna question the system here. Although we're in a bit of an awkward spot trying to catch up because now we're behind. You don't want to be behind when you're trying to catch up to something in orbit. Yes, but the 3 is where we match in lameness. Except I'm the original Star Shard. You're the 3rd Rilip. So we are not the same. But yeah, I think at some point you either have to have a ridiculously complicated username or you have to have a number in it, because there's only so many unique names you can have. Oh, this sucks. Yeah, we should have launched a little bit earlier. Well, that's okay, because now we're going to take some time and I'm going to run my AI generator program here. Open AI. There we go. Oh, wait. No, I think I ran out of tokens. I ran out of tokens, chat. I don't think I can generate stuff anymore. Write me a Kerbal Space Program fan fiction. Go. Yeah, it's gonna yeah, okay. How much does it cost me to get more tokens? Because I can't imagine it's... You've not upgraded to a paid plan yet. I would like to upgrade to a paid plan, please. Get started. Only pay for what you use. Because I would 100%. You feel like I screwed it up? It's not that bad. It'll only take like maybe 45 minutes to get it better. All right, wait a minute. Yeah, this user already... Because I... Freaking... Some websites are just poorly designed. All right, I want to pay... Upgrade, there we go. Free trial, set up a paid account. I'm an individual. Okay, now I gotta put my credit card number in. All right, we're not gonna do that tonight. So no Kerbal fan fiction tonight, but maybe soon. Maybe very soon. How do we pay you money here? You guys don't have to pay me anything. This is free content. You can always sub on Twitch, which is that's like a built-in thing. You can go to there's a little subscribe button under me. You can throw bits if you're familiar with the bits. And otherwise, you don't have to do anything. You can just watch, and then sometimes you might get commercials, but only the pre-rolls. I don't run ads in the middle of the stream because I find that that's annoying. I don't want to sit through ads. I don't want you guys to sit through ads. And Twitch is only gonna pay me like 2 cents, so who cares? It's not even worth it. Mighty Stoosh coming in with some love. Thank you very much. Always nice to see a returning customer. Anyway, yeah, let's fix this. Let's get this fixed up. We got stuff to do. So in the context of what I've been up to these last couple of days, or at least yesterday since I streamed Monday. So as you guys know, Tuesdays has been my Call of Cthulhu game session with Emmykins and possibly an alien. So yesterday I ran Call of Cthulhu for the 2 of them. But another thing happened after the session. And there's something happened during the session. We'll get to that later. And then I'll get to, yes, KSP will be free on Epic tomorrow for the winter sale. If you don't already have KSP for whatever reason, I don't know why you'd be holding off. But if you have been holding off, or maybe you're running a pirated copy, go ahead and pick up a real copy from Epic. Or if you really hate Epic, then don't. I can't tell you what to do, man. It's the internet. You have to figure it out for yourself. All right, I think we're gonna go small here, and we're gonna play catch up. So after the session, after the Call of Cthulhu session, I fired up my Stationeer's Mars colony, and I went to make some repairs, or to make some additions to my ventilation network. And then as I was returning to the main part of my base, I noticed something very curious. There was a huge amount of pressure in my living area, and then I ran into atmospherics to see what was going on. Apparently the windows had blown out of atmospherics because a pipe had burst and a bunch of waste gas had spilled into the atmosphere, causing the pressure to go up so high it blew out the windows. So I basically said, you know what, I'm just gonna start over because I had discovered a flaw in my design with the hydroponics, so I'm just gonna start from scratch. I did put together, however, a very nice design document that is like a little blueprint for the new base that I'm gonna make, that I think fixes a lot of the problems I was having. Rilip has a random fact for us, chat. Listen to this. This is incredible. Ketchup was not originally a tomato product. In fact, it was originally made from fish. This is just... Are you on Reddit right now, Rilip? Are you looking at the Today I Learned subreddit? Ketchup was originally made... Early recipes used egg whites, mushrooms, oysters, grapes. Oh, God. Mussels or walnuts? Oh. Ugh. That was one I had stored in the old noodle, huh? All right, well. Do you have any other fun facts for us that are actually fun? Like, oh, here's a fun fact, guys. Here's the 26 most anticipated movies coming out this year. Mithrigan. Which is about a, I guess a robot girl who kills people. Sure. Magic Mike's Last Dance. So I guess that's the 3rd Magic Mike movie. Cocaine Bear. Everybody's heard about Cocaine Bear. Creed 3. John Wick Chapter 4. The Super Mario Brothers movie. You anticipate Emmykins taking me to Magic Mike? If anything, I'm taking her to Magic Mike 3 because I was the one who was like, hey, let's watch Magic Mike. That sounds funny. And it was kind of funny. It's a bit of a comedy. A little bit of everything. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers. We've talked about that to death on this chat. Oh, yeah, the new Evil Dead. Yep. I think is that a movie? I think it's a movie. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, the movie. Who's playing Margaret? Abby Ryder Fortson from Ant-Man. Okay. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I'm sure that'll be a bit of a train wreck. Maybe not. Could be good. Mission Impossible, whatever. Barbie. They're making a Barbie movie starring Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. What the heck? That... apparently we should plan to have our expectations subverted, according to Margot Robbie. The trailer looks funny for Evil Dead. We'll see. I'm not a big Evil Dead person, but I mean, I appreciate the fact that the movies exist. Oppenheimer. I'm sure everybody's excited for Oppenheimer. You get to watch nuclear bombs go off. Dune Part 2. That comes out in November. I'm more or less interested in that. I saw the first one and thought it was good. Curious to see how they handle the second part. Oh, okay, the Barbie trailer looks funny. Asteroid City tells the story of a fictional American desert town circa 1955. Okay, so it's not about a city on an asteroid. That's less interesting then. Killers of the Flower Moon, The Holdovers. Man, I just don't care about movies, do I? Napoleon. Ridley Scott follows House of Gucci with a more ambitious biopic starring Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon and Vanessa Kirby as his wife, Josephine. Sure, why not? Peter Pan and Wendy, which is this a live action remake? When's the Joker movie coming out? They're making another Joker movie. Didn't they kill him in the first one? I didn't see it. None of these sound very good. Okay, well, can't win them all, I guess. Let's get back to the game. I mean, you guys have been looking at the game the whole time. I've just been reading it off. Yes, and it's a wait a minute. Hold on. Is that true? Joker musical. Tommy Wiseau to direct? Joker 2 might be a musical. The DC Universe might be getting its first musical in the Joker sequel, Joker 2, Folie à Deux. Sorry, French speakers. I don't know how to pronounce French words. The film, starring Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, is rumored to be getting the musical treatment. Because how could it not? Easily. It could easily not get the musical treatment. All right. This really has another stupid fact that everybody already knows. Napoleon was actually average height. But there was a difference between the French and English units, so blah, 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 blah. Yes, he was just he was a regular height for the time. He was probably still short compared to us modern giant folk. But yeah, everybody knows that. You know, okay, here's a actual fun fact about Napoleon. You guys will like this one. Beauty is in the nose of the bee sniffer. Coming home soon, don't wash, Napoleon Bonaparte once wrote to his wife Josephine. It's unclear from this snippet of a love note if the most famous emperor in French history had a certifiable case of bromidrophilia, a paraphilia in which the individual finds the natural body odors of attractive people to be the most arousing, erotic, stimulus imaginable. Yeah, that's gross. Napoleon's penis was allegedly amputated during an autopsy shortly after Napoleon's death in 1821. Well, there you go. Is it available for purchase? Oh, yep. Okay, it's privately held. Some historians suspect he died of accidental arsenic poisoning. I mean, dude was emperor twice. You think, you know, surprised he was still alive to get arsenic poisoning at that point. A little bit crazy. All right, so we're gonna drop our apoapsis here. How's our power situation? Not too good. We're just gonna drop it down until we have a slightly better. Okay, there we go. And now I guess we're gonna play catch up. But while we're up here, we should probably grab a crew report quick. Give me the crew report. There it is. All right, do we have any non-Napoleon related fun facts? Maybe we could talk about who was that guy? Hold on, chat. James Joyce's fart kink. Talk about that. We could talk about Napoleon Dynamite facts. Yeah. Couldn't the one character throw a football over those mountains? That was his whole claim to fame. I never saw the movie. It came out in an awkward time for me because I was, what was I doing? I think all my older relatives really liked the movie and thought it was funny, and I was like, I don't want anything to do with what like my aunts and uncles find entertaining. So I had no interest in seeing it. But yeah, something like that. All right, we're in a nice circular orbit, so let's just make a little maneuver here so we can keep track of when we're gonna be. Hello? There we go. All right, I would really like it, game, if we could set you as a target. Hey, there we go. Now we're just gonna scooch you forward until we have a nice encounter. I was going through my edgy phase. I'm still going through my edgy phase. I'm the edgiest person you will. That's not true. I was watching a video of someone where they had footage of them going into a Hot Topic, and I saw the Invader Zim merch, and I was instantly just like, oh my god, they're still selling Invader Zim merch at Hot Topic. I thought that was a joke. I was around for Invader Zim, chat. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that good. Hot Topic still exists, and Spencer's. Yes, malls also still exist, if you can believe it. I couldn't at first, and then I saw the footage, and I'm like, wow, people are actually in this mall, going to stores. There's a Cinnabon. I'd go for some Cinnabon. Cinnabon's good. Yeah, Invader Zim was like a... How could I describe it? It was a very late 90s, early 2000s type of cartoon. Very, very Nickelodeon. Maybe a good way to describe it. It had all the LOL so random humor. It had the like gross out stuff. It had an unlikable protagonist. Philip says our mall is getting kind of cool actually. At Watertown, really? Maybe if you would go and use the theater there, you would see it more often. We used to have a mall in our town, but then apparently there's some kind of crazy guy who owns it, and he refuses to do anything with it. So it's just vacant, and it's just rotting in the middle of town. Watertown, New York is the one Rilip is talking about, which is where I used to live because I was in the army and I was stationed at Fort Drum for a few years. It was okay. You asked me 10 years ago, it was the worst time of my life. It probably still is, but I've softened a lot on it. Couldn't get me back in the army without like a shitload of money though. Okay, set this to target. Where? There they are. Hey, look at that. Let's go ahead and slow things down. And we are good. There's so many water towns though. It's kind of ridiculous. Again, it's just a very generic name, I guess. Kind of makes me want to have multiple water towns in my D&D world. I got out as a E5 sergeant, so that's actually a funny story how I got that rank, because I would, if it was up to me, I would have got out as a specialist, which is E4. However, the person who was in charge of putting in the paperwork to prevent me from automatically going up a rank didn't put the paperwork in because she wanted me to go up a rank because she was like a friend of mine. And then I just automatically went up a rank. And they're like, well, you're about to get out, so there's nothing we can do about it, I guess, whatever. And then I got out. It's good time. Good old bureaucracy. All the kind of standard stores have cannibalized themselves, and now it has an axe throwing place, a couple of kid-oriented play places, an escape room. I thought escape rooms had gone extinct. That's actually impressive to hear that. I am semi-interested in going to an escape room if it's good. I've heard a bunch of horror stories about like really poorly run escape rooms, and it just makes me not want to go and spend, you know, whatever, $50 per person to be in a shitty scavenger hunt or whatever. Okay. Scooch that over just a little bit. Whoa, too much. Scooched it too much. It's probably fine though. But yeah, we don't have a mall anymore. In fact, one of the anchor stores that was kind of part of the mall has been closed, but they're finally renovating it. They're finally turning it into like offices. So that's kind of nice. It's just been sitting there on Main Street, basically, just taking up space. But yeah, they're finally doing something with that. So hey, maybe in a couple of years, this will be a nice place to live. Who can tell? All right, let's head over. What do we have here? Anzor is a pilot. Still need a scientist, but pilot is okay too. Guess with a pilot we can hold on. There they are. Relip says, I've been to 2 escape rooms. One was extremely mid. All right. Very cool. One was pretty good. I didn't have to pay for either, so it was fine. Well, yeah, if I was going for free, I wouldn't care, but when you're expected to pay for something, I expect it to be good, or at least mid, as you described it. Although I would prefer if it was awesome, because there's so much good stuff in the world. It's just bad finances if you're paying for crap. Before I went remote, my office was an old mall. Oh. They've now said we're moving into a regular office building and we'll be selling them all. Everybody hates it, but that's corporate for you. They're making you come back to work? Oof. That sucks. Assuming that's what's actually happening here. All right, let's go ahead and drop our periapsis. And we will begin our descent. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached our cruising altitude of 82,000 meters. We'll be getting our descent into KSC shortly. Mighty Stoosh went to an escape room once. It was okay. Unrelated, I now don't like the feeling of being trapped. Yeah, I suppose that's probably a bad phobia to have if you're going to do an escape room. I have really enjoyed doing escape room puzzles in video games because, first of all, you don't have to leave the house, and second of all, there's a lot more creativity that can be accomplished with a video game versus a physical location. Chat, have you guys seen the Steam Award winners? This might be worth checking out. Hold on. Copy the page URL. Let me see if I can get this open in Firefox here. Oh yeah, the Steam Award presenting your winners. Mighty Stoosh did a virtual escape room for work last year. Oh, that's like a fun little team building exercise. Someone was our hands and eyes and it was via Zoom. Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. All right. So let me make sure our descent is good, and then we'll open up. We'll check out the Steam Awards. You guys, if you haven't seen these already, you're just gonna be grumpy about it, because I know I was. Well, that's not true. Some of these I agree with. We'll look at all the nominees and the winners, because man, it's just a popularity contest every year. I don't think my work would dare do some kind of team building exercise like that, because it would just piss people off. Unless it was, let's see, what would I personally accept as a team building exercise? I would do paintball. I would do like a team obstacle course. That's about it. It would have to be something like really, something that is out of the ordinary. They don't get to do every day. I guess for me is pretty much anything, but that's besides the point. A laser tag, I guess, is an acceptable alternative to paintball. Rilip has done paintball. Yeah, all the times I've done paintball, it's been relatively fun. It's just kind of expensive, because you got to get the paintballs, you got to rent the guns if you don't already have them, the CO2, blah 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 blah. Too many people don't understand. Don't shoot people less than 20 feet away, though. That's not a rule. You just made that up. You get shot until you're no longer a threat. That's how we play paintball. You gotta put your hands up or whatever. Yeah, you know what? Instead of paintball, why don't we just do like a round of Counter-Strike or something? Then nobody gets hit with paintballs, nobody's crying, everybody can just stay at home. So many things that have historically been a team building exercise, we can just replace with video games. And wouldn't it be so much more fun? Oh, they had high pressure guns. Okay, well, I mean, if it's something that could potentially injure you, then yeah, maybe don't shoot people that close. Mighty Stoosh plays video games some nights as a team. Well, that's cool. Is it like a work sanctioned event, or you guys just hang out? Because I mean, I've definitely played games with coworkers before, but it's never been a hey, everybody show up, we're gonna have hot dogs and we're gonna play Super Smash Brothers, which that would be way too even though Super Smash Brothers came out 20 years ago, that would be way too forward thinking for the people that I work for, because everybody there's either a boomer or maybe even older. Oh, you're a game company though. Well, okay, all right. We can't all work at Nintendo. Although if you have any inside information on how I can catch Mew, you can let me know. I'll keep it a secret. We had multiple people with bruises the size of softballs. Ugh. I mean, just wear better clothes at that point. All right, so if we could just start entering the atmosphere, that would be great. I've been holding off on showing off the Steam Awards, and I really want to. Although I do not want to put on Physics Warp while in the atmosphere, because that could be bad. What else can I look at? There was something else. There was a... Steam keeps advertising a replay, a Steam Replay 2022. It's going to tell me all about... if I can just share this. Aha, there we go. I can check out what games I played this year. Hopefully there's nothing... No? Hello? Steam? Don't say I copied it and then be like, oh, actually you didn't copy it. Nope, didn't copy it. Steam, my dude. You know, shouldn't say have a copy button if it's not actually going to copy the URL. There we go. Okay. Code to catch a Mew. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. Okay. That is an acceptable sequence for a Game Boy, so I will write that down. That seems very similar to the Contra code, but that makes sense because nobody would hit those buttons on accident. This definitely got to be real. All right. Any second now, we're going to start seeing some atmospheric effects. Maybe some flames. Some heating. Something. Anything. Nope. All right, well, I've got everything open. Let me run through this quick to make sure there's nothing. Blah, blah, blah. Anything here? Guides written. Should I write some guides on Steam, chat? I don't really have anything like that I consider myself to be a expert on. What is this? Why does this have a broken link? 404 not found, huh? Copy image. Copy image link. Yep, 404 not found. I don't know what that game is. Oh, Words Can Kill. All right, I don't think I've played that in a while. Hey, there's the heating effects. Stationeer's code. I'm not good enough at it to write code, to like write a guide on it. I'm the one reading the guides and learning how to do it. Although it would be really nice if there was a breakdown of every command you could use. I know there is in the game, but if it had a breakdown, kind of like Stack Overflow, maybe that's not the right site, but Stack Overflow is a place you can go to look up code. If it had an example of code being used for something, it's like you would use this code. This code, if you do this, will do this. As opposed to, this can be used. This command can be used with these variables. Good luck. Go ahead and turn on the engine there. I am the one who reads. I read the guide. I don't write the guide. I'm not that good. I'm good at reading comprehension, I guess. I can look at something, I can read it, and then I can use that to my advantage, which I suppose is all that reading really is. Okay. So we'll wait till we're at about, we'll say 15,000, and then we'll pop the drogue chutes. So you want to write a code for your atmospheric system. Well, let me tell you. How dare you use information to gain advantages? Well, listen. Here's the thing about learning, chap. It's what has allowed us to reach the position that we as a species are in. Other animals don't. I mean, they do to an extent. Like some animals, like I think elephants and like some of the more intelligent animals can teach each other. Can teach like members of their species how to do things. Whoa, Rilip won $8 in the lottery. Awesome. How much did it cost you to buy the ticket? Because I'm guessing that was not a good financial decision on your part. But what was I saying about humans? So humans, we can teach each other things. We can teach each other how to make steel. I've never seen an elephant make steel. Although it would probably really help if they could, you know, fight back against the oppressors with steel weaponry. All right, so you spent less than $5, but you got $8, so you had a net gain of, I don't know, maybe $3 at most. Why do they even have that as a payout? That's so pointless. Like, just say you didn't win. It's like getting Park Place in the McDonald's Monopoly thing. It's like, yeah, everybody has Park Place. Duh. Nobody cares. You didn't win anything. A gifted sub would be break even? Maybe. Rilip needs that money. He's got a lot going on in his life. He's got kids. He's got a wife. He's got bills. He's got to pay his telephone bills. You think they do it for the odds? Oh, I guess so. Yeah, it makes it look better if it's like, you could win. $8. You have a 1 in 10,000 chance to win instead of 1 in 10 bajillion. I have a 1 in 1 more billion chance to win the lottery, chap. Should I take it? If I lose, I have to go see Morbius 2. It's Morbin time. I don't think I'm gonna take those odds. I don't like that. All right. I feel confident that this is gonna splash down uneventfully. So let's head over to the Steam Awards for a little in-flight entertainment. There you are. Okay. I was gonna watch it for them. I was not. There's not a Morbius 2. There will not be a Morbius 2. However, I can't believe you guys haven't seen this. Hold on. Was it a TikTok or was it a YouTube short? Here it is. It was on TikTok. Okay, I don't go on TikTok, but I did see this. And I thought it was really funny. No. This is somebody reacting to the TikTok. For Pete's sake, man. There it is. There it is. I can't believe I have to go through these. Okay, it was on Twitter. Okay, here we go. Jeez. All these dang hoops I gotta jump through. Okay. Here it is. Here it is, chat. I'm bringing it up.
What are you reading?
Nothing really. Just
What are you reading?
oh, well.
There you go. Morbius 2, it's Morbin time. That's Jared Leto's Twitter account. I had misremembered it. I thought it was TikTok or a YouTube Shorts, but it was neither. But yes, no, I'm not gonna watch a reaction TikTok reacting to something. That's the lowest form of comedy. All right, we're still splashing down. You guys aren't missed anything. The Steam Awards, the prestigious Steam Awards. Presenting your winners, the Steam community has spoken. We're proud to announce the winners for the 2022 Steam Awards. Very prestigious. Thank you for participating. We'll see you again next year. All right, Game of the Year. Actually, you know, let's just go one by one. Game of the Year was Elden Ring. Up for votes was Dying Light 2, which I've literally never heard of. Elden Ring, of course. Stray, which, despite how cute the cat is not Game of the Year like material. God of War, just God of War, I guess. I thought it was called God of War Ragnarok. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, which I don't even know how that is on here, considering it has mixed reviews. I saw Cyberpunk. Yeah, we'll get to Cyberpunk, Rilip, don't worry. I thought Dying Light 2 was a flop. Well, apparently enough people thought it was Game of the Year contender. All right, VR Game of the Year. This, I don't have VR, so I guess, you know. Hey, Among Us in VR, chat. Wow. How fun. Inside the Backrooms. Wow, another meme bait video game. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 won the Labor of Love Award. I don't know how this game, first of all, it's still not great from what I know. Hitman VR, I think, came out this year. So I don't think it had to have come out this year. I don't know what the rules are. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077, Labor of Love for, I guess, fixing some bugs, maybe. Yeah, No Man's Sky, that I would have been okay with that. Project Zomboid's been going for a decade now. Deep Rock Galactic, which has a huge community and has overwhelmingly positive reviews. Meanwhile, here's little Cyberpunk, finally up to mostly positive. Dota 2, I don't even interact with those people. Better with Friends, Raft. Raft is great. Highly recommend it if you have friends. If you have to play it solo, I do not. I mean, it's still kind of fun, but it's kind of a slug. Ready or Not, which is like a SWAT type game. Monster Hunter Rise, sure. Multiverses, nah, that's just you play against whoever. Call of Duty again. That keeps showing up the blot. Yeah, Raft is great. Outstanding visual style. Sure. Spider-Man. It's like photorealistic, but I guess it has outstanding visual style. Any of these I would have been okay with. Spider-Man was the one that I would think doesn't really have a visual style. So whatever. Most innovative gameplay. Winner. A pretty bog standard third-person adventure puzzle game. Not Teardown, which is I've never played anything like Teardown. Not Mountain Blade 2, which honestly is just better than or I don't even know if it's better than Mountain Blade 1 yet. Neon White, I've seen like some pretty incredible stuff from that. And Dome Keeper. I don't know about innovative, but pretty fun. Best game you suck at also goes to Elden Ring. Yeah, sure. I don't know how FIFA got on here. Best soundtrack. Chat, we need to have a discussion about these Final Fantasy VII remakes. In fact, we've had this discussion multiple times over this past year. Why? Why is... I'm gonna... Hang on, let me end this mission in the background. Hold on. I don't know what the soundtrack is like for Final Fantasy VII Remake. All I know is that it's not a remake in the sense that everybody wanted a remake. Everybody wanted a remaster of Final Fantasy VII, I think. You go back, you fix the translation errors, you update the graphics, you maybe like add some features to the battle system, that like some quality of life stuff. Boom. You got yourself a remake. This is just like, hey, you guys liked Final Fantasy 15, right? No? Okay, well, we're doing that, except it's Final Fantasy 7, and it's only like the first part of the first disc of the game. If you want the rest, you have to pay $60 separately multiple times to unlock everything. It's ridiculous. Stardew does have a great soundtrack, but Stardew didn't come out this year, so what? Sonic, I don't know how Sonic Frontiers got in here. That's just a bunch of butt rock. Persona 5 has a great soundtrack. What the heck is this? Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix Plus. Sure, it probably has a good soundtrack. And then Metal Hellsinger, literally never heard of it. Must have at least some okay songs. Outstanding story-rich game goes to God of War, where the story is Kratos has to kill more gods, except this time it's Viking gods. Sure. Outstanding, I guess. I didn't play any of these this year, so I don't know. Sit back and relax. How the heck did Lego Star Wars TM... Oh, sorry. Lego registered trademark Star Wars trademark The Skywalker Saga get Sit Back and Relax over Power Wash Simulator? I'm thinking of... Wait, hold on. Which game came out? Hang on, I gotta look this up. I might be thinking of Ragnarok, yes. Okay, God of War series. I played the original God of War. It was just called God of War. Now this one is also just called God of War. Can I just go to Wikipedia, please? This is the one with the kid. I thought the other one had a kid. Don't they both have a kid? Have I gone crazy? Okay, God of War came out in 2005. God of War 2, God of War Betrayal, God of War Chains of Olympus, God of War 3, God of War Ghost of Sparta, God of War Ascension. Okay, that was the Greek one. God of War, A Call from the Wilds. Oh, God of War just came out on Steam on PC. That's why I'm confused, because God of War Ragnarok came out on the PS4 and 5 this last year. Okay, that all makes sense now, I guess. I was mixing it up with the one that actually released last year. But yeah, it came to PC. Okay, that's all. We're all good now. Everybody's got it cleared up. Yes. So Power Wash Simulator, Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is just Animal Crossing but with Disney characters, Dwarf Romantic, which is a very, very chill game unless you get very competitive, and then it gets pretty stressful, and Slime Rancher 2, which technically is not completely out yet, so maybe hold off on that one. I did buy it. I do enjoy it. Not a whole lot going on over on top of Slime Rancher 1. So yeah, see, Dwarf Romantic, super chill. Mighty Stoosh says it. It must be true. Best game on the go. I don't know how Death Stranding got best game on the go out of all these like mobile-esque games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? Sure, card game. Marvel Snap? Card game. Vampire Survivors? Yeah, you could play that on your phone. Brotato? It's just Vampire Survivors. Death Stranding? That's, I don't know. I don't even know how that made it on here. That's not going... So am I not recommending Slime Rancher 2? I would hold off, honestly. If you have Slime Rancher 1 and you've played it all the way through and beaten it, Slime Rancher 2 does not offer any additional gameplay. Can I please pause the cutscenes in what? In Death Stranding? Yeah, how are you gonna play Death Stranding on the go? You can't pause the cutscenes. At least I don't. Maybe you can. I don't know how if you're playing on the Steam Deck, how that works. All right, let's look at my Steam replay. So let's go back to the top. This year, Star Shard Zero played a ton of new games and unlocked quite a few achievements. These are a few of their highlights. Oxygen Not Included somehow made up 12% of my playtime for the whole year. That is insane. Grounded was 10%. Kerbal Space Program was 7%. Let's see. I unlocked 740. I definitely beat the average. Quite a bit. Oxygen Not Included is addictive. And I'm really looking forward to getting back into it now that they did the patch back in December. I haven't dove back in since then. All right, these are just whatever. That's the percentage of games that I played. You are what you play. This spider graph shows the kind of games Star Shard Zero spent the most time in 2022. Space, Grand Strategy, Farming Sim, Colony Sim, Open World Survival Craft, and Metroidvania. What the heck was I playing that was a Metroidvania? All right, well, somebody needs to make a Space, Grand Strategy, Farming, Colony Sim, Open World Survival Crafting game. I'm guessing Spelunky's the oh, that's right. Yeah, Spelunky's probably considered a Metroidvania. Take a closer look at my top played games. Oxygen Not Included. Played it in January, February, and then a bunch in November because I got really into it, and then a bunch in December. Got a bunch of achievements this year. Grounded, of course, I played at the beginning, and then I played when it came out. I feel like I played it more in December, but maybe it doesn't track that because this came out in November. Kerbal Space Program. Hey, we played that all throughout the year. Good stuff. And Stardew Valley. I did play a bunch of Stardew Valley this year. I forgot. I played that with a friend. And Satisfactory is on here. So on and so forth. Oh, we did some XCOM 2. We got to remember that. We did 5% in XCOM. Wow. How is Spelunky? Spelunky's really fun. It's also kind of like infuriating sometimes. And you're either gonna get it or you're not gonna get it, and it's just gonna be a miserable experience. My wife, for example, who's gonna be playing it on Friday, she'll be on the stream, is very bad at video games, and she's especially bad at Spelunky. But for some reason, she likes playing it. All right, science data from space around the mun. Sure, we can do that. Do we have something around the mun we can do? KSP, Hades, Slay the Spire, and Midnight Suns for Rilip. I'm still looking at Midnight Suns. again, it like looks good. People are saying it's good, but then I look at the weird DLC stuff and I'm just like, is this necessary? What are you doing to me, 2K? KSP, yep, KSP is free tomorrow. So anybody, again, if you're just joining us, Arpeggiatura, KSP is free tomorrow on Epic. If you don't have it already, for whatever reason, go pick it up. It's free. It does not, it requires zero, as close to zero effort as you can get for a free game. I realize you have to load up Epic and then go into the store and click get game for free and then click a bunch of stuff and then you get it. But all things considered, it's pretty low effort. Mighty Stoosh posted their recap on Discord. So yeah, hey guys, if you want to post that in the gaming channel, I guess. General chat works too. I mean, it's not that busy. Playing Factorio, excellent game, Satisfactory. Hey, you play Eco. Hey, another Eco person. I played that a bunch last year, I think. Not last year, the year before, 2021. And Astroneer. Good stuff. All right. What am I taking here? I didn't get any of the DLC. I enjoyed the base game. So this is Marvel Midnight Suns, Rilip is talking about. I can't see more than 80 hours in it right now, but I'm hoping they'll add another campaign in the future as DLC like War of the Chosen. I mean, War of the Chosen wasn't really an additional campaign. It was just an extra layer on top of the regular campaign. So you couldn't... Again, I don't know how it works in Midnight Suns. I assume your superheroes don't die, which is one of the main selling points for me of XCOM, is that you can just lose your best soldier to a bad move, where I don't think they're going to kill off Captain Marvel halfway through the story. There's no good missions here, it seems. Oh, test a stack separator on the landing site. We can do that. That's easy. We'll pull out the test monkey. Eco is good with people, so it comes in trends. Yep. If you can get the issue I had with Eco, there were a couple of issues I had. You have the groups of people that want to work together and finish the game, which is fine. And then you have the people who, like me, who want to like actually, there's like competition and then like maybe a little bit of capitalism going on. And if everybody gets stuck kind of, but the problem is, usually that stuff is going to be server side. Like the admins are going to handle that stuff. I haven't been able to find, hey Beetle Rock, I have not been able to find a server where it's basically anarchy. Well, maybe not total anarchy, but so people can set up governments if they want. They can live outside the government, and stuff like that. It's either everybody works together, or it's everything, the government is set up server side and there's only one government for the whole world, and it's like, well, it's tough. You want to do a real economy? You know, if I can get a group of people together, I wouldn't mind, because I did rent a server for a time. I wouldn't mind setting up another server for that and maybe getting a group of people, preferably a large group of people who would all kind of like work in different groups. But that's talk for the future. I need the test monkey. Give me the test monkey. Yeah, that's fine. Get rid of that. We need to test the stack separator, I believe it said. So let's grab the launch stability enhancer. This thing is enormous. Seems extremely oversized. Look at this guy. Count me in. All right. Well, chat, if anybody else wants to express interest in some eco, well, maybe we'll see what we can do. That might be fun to set up a little like when Matt Comar, or no, Ice King of Space set up the Minecraft server, and then everybody got to play and like stream on there, and that was really fun. Maybe I could do the same thing for eco. What is TS18 stack separator we need? TS18. Okay, that is slightly the wrong size. Let's get a little adapter. That's not correct. That's, I think we have to use a fuel tank for this actually. Yeah, there it is. We're gonna turn the force percent down to like 1. There we go. And let's send it out with an engineer. Not Doily. How about Fowler? Fowler, you seem like a level-headed individual. Let's go. So yeah, all my experience with Eco has been either fully cooperative, everybody works together, there's no currency or anything, or server-side government stuff. Flop. All right, success. Wow, 1,800 space bucks. What a great deal. I wonder if you can set up a dedicated server yourself. You can. It just, yeah, I don't know. I guess it would depend on your bandwidth and depend on the specs of your old box. Build a new surface outpost on Minmus. No, I'm not gonna do that. Recover module from orbit. Weighs 0.8 tons. It's pretty large, actually. I wouldn't even know where to begin with trying to do stuff like that. Test a skipper. Heck yeah, we'll test a skipper. That's easy. I do that anyway. Okay, let's increase the size a bit. We're going to use the Rockomax brand decoupler. Grab a skipper, which is located here. Extremely oversized, looks kind of goofy. But hey, that's part of the charm. Bolish, you're going back out. Fowler. Your name is Fowler. There's a couple of games that I wouldn't mind setting up a dedicated server for. Stationeers is a big one. Eco. All right, there we go. Ooh, that was actually 10,000. That's actually pretty good. Looks like something against TOS. What happened? Oh, my rocket. Looks like it's against TOS. Oh no. Literally 1984. Okay. I think that's... Oh wait, we could do the Rhino splash down. Which one's the Rhino? The heck? You love Stationeers? Playing multiplayer? Yeah, I was trying to play with my friends over the weekend, and one of them was like, it's like, yeah, we'll play on Sunday. And then Sunday rolls around. He's like, sorry guys, I can't play today. And I'm like, well, what the? This thing is huge. What the heck? Okay, give me a much larger device for this to be on. This is crazy. Does this even have an adapter that goes to it? No. I guess you just gotta slap it on there. Okay. Way to get my hopes up. Yeah, I was playing all day by myself, just waiting for him to be ready to play, and then he just like came on at like 6 o'clock p.m. He's like, oh yeah, I can't play today. Like, yeah, you could have told me that like 8 hours ago before I sat around waiting to play. Some people, I don't know, man. Okay, what are we gonna use for the fuel tank here? Because none of these are quite big enough. I think we might just have to use... we just have to use this. It's completely ridiculous, but you know what? It's probably fine. Slap that on there. It's definitely a job for somebody. You want to try Stationeers multiplayer? Sounds really fun. Hey, well, looks like we got a crew going on here. We'll see. We'll see if I can get that set up at some point. I feel like Urban and Ice King and Matt were talking about doing station, or no, it was Discount Engineer too. But it's multiplayer in that game is kind of unstable, so it's tough to actually get multiplayer running. Let's do it. Again, you can just host a game. You don't have to run a dedicated server. So if you guys are like legitimately interested in playing with me, and somebody has like a really good PC, you can just, either I can host it or somebody else can host it. All right, let's see how bad this is. All right, so this thing needs to go over to the water. Here we go, just making our way across the KSC here. It's good, we're good. Just stay vertical. Do not, under any circumstances, flip over. We're good, we're good. Okay, a little more thrust, a little more throttle there. This looks ridiculous. I mean, they do tests like this. Didn't SpaceX do some kind of test where they had something moving around just like right above the landing pad? Slow it down, slow it down. Oh, okay, that turned it off. We don't want to turn it off. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna slowly, we're gonna pop the chutes. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, and then this thing can just splash down. I did take that quest, right? Yes. Got it. Good. The first iterations of the Starship, the Star Hoppers. Boy, they sure aren't very creative when it comes to names. They just hopped higher and higher and tested thrust vectoring. Because are those the ones that land on that barge out in the ocean? Was that what they were testing? Again, I'm not nearly as well versed in actual space stuff as a lot of these other big Kerbal streamers are, unfortunately. I probably should be. You know, how can I consider myself to be a true card-carrying nerd if I don't care about space? All right, test complete. That got us 40,000 space bucks. Good deal. Oh, this is in Boca Chica. Okay, this is a whole different thing. Well, I don't know. See, goes to show I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, can we finally afford it? No, we're still 50,000 off, and we're gonna need a little bit of buffer room too. Build a new orbital station around Kerbin. That's not terrible. Granted, it doesn't quite give us that much. It'd probably be more expensive to build the thing. Test Airstream Protective Shell landed at Kerbin. If they're just going to keep giving me these gimmies, I'm going to take them. I don't know what to tell you. Watch EJ? Yeah, I know EJ does like a whole bunch of stuff with all that. He knows what he's talking about. Okay, what is the quest? And the AEF, okay, the 1.875 one. So we need something a little smaller. Just slap that around a bit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, there you are. Like, where the heck is the thing I'm trying to attach to? It's right there. We're gonna test the fairing deployment system, I guess. Not sure how that's gonna work, but we're gonna give it a shot. That there. Boy, they sure do have me doing a bunch of crazy stuff. We'll throw Fuller back in there. Fuller. I need to cram on my KSP stuff real quick. What do you mean you need to cram on it? Why was physics easing in progress? That's kind of scary. Whoosh. Wow. All right, that seems like a little unnecessarily high volume or something. High velocity, probably a better word for it. Cram knowledge, okay. All right, how much Delta V to get to Duna? Go. We're gonna do rapid fire. We're gonna do a pop quiz. Name all the moons of Jool. Science data from surface of Minmus. We can get that. Ooh, they're giving me freebies here. This is crazy. Jool isn't, no, all the moons of Jool. Jool is not a moon. Jool is a gas giant. When's KSP 2 coming out? It's going to be multiplayer. Well, that's the thing. It's coming out in early access at the end of February, but it's not going to have, it's not going to have the multiplayer part just yet. Does this have, I think it does. All right, we'll just do a little time warp here. We do have electric charge, that's good. So we should get a good signal bounce from the Min station here shortly. Just give me a second. Should give us a nice path back to KSC. There we go. Oop, doing a little bouncing there. That's okay. That's okay. We're all right with that. Transmit it. And there we go. Speaking of which, how much science do we have? We have... oh, we have 84 science. Wow, that's actually not terrible. And I believe that completed our mission, so we're good. Yep, everything's early access. We've talked about this a lot, how KSP 2 was announced to come out at the end of 2020, and then they delayed it, and then they delayed it again. And now we're on like our third or fourth round of delays. And it just, I do not have high hopes for it. Like, I'll play it, I might even enjoy it, but I'm cautiously optimistic about it, I guess. Let's say that. I don't mind if things are in early access. That's okay. KSP 1, this game was in early access for quite a while before it finally released. And it was great. They were doing updates to it. They added new stuff. They were like adding new systems as they went. It was a good time. It's just KSP 2 has like real backing behind it, and it seems like they don't need to go early access. Rilip is cautiously pessimistic. Yeah, maybe that's a better word for what I am. Star Citizen's been in early access for 10 years, I think. Yeah, well, Star Citizen's very special. I don't know that I'd consider it early access so much as special access. You get to kind of play the game now in the hopes that maybe it'll be a full game later. I'm rescuing John Lowe. All right, we need to find John Lowe. Chat, you know what? You know what I should do? I should run, let's get a Gamba going. Who wants to Gamba? Now's your chance to risk your beans. Get your shards in now, because we're gonna go rescue John Lowe Kerman, who is currently located above the North Caribbean Peninsula. Gamba me. All right, well, get in on the Gamba. Remember, if you don't win, somebody else will, and then they'll get all the beans. Now we're just gonna go ahead and do this. Do a little loop-de-loop here. So I am personally hoping for a scientist, but I think it's looking at the stats of the Kerbals we've gotten thus far from rescue missions. It's like a 80% chance of getting an engineer, a 19% chance of getting a pilot, and a 1% chance of getting a scientist, or something ridiculously low for the scientist. All right, Rilip has put some shards on the line for some dumb reason. I already know what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen, Rilip? I want to know. All right, and nothing new came up in the meantime. So let's just go ahead and launch the Rescuer 1. Rescuer 1. You know, this has probably been our most launched rocket, and it's relatively cheap for what it does. Yeah, it's just a real solid workhorse of the KSP fleet here. Let's throw Doily in. Doily's a good Kerbal. Let her do some extra work. Hey, Sartari's here. Sartari, were you here last night? I don't remember seeing you in chat. Kat was live on camera. Not last night, Monday night. I can't remember who all was here for Am I the Asshole? Turns out quite a few people in the month of December were assholes this year. It's a good time.
Tell the crew to
Mighty
push
Stoosh,
the
I
whopper
do remember
button.
seeing you here. Ooh, Arpeggiatura's got a fun little emote there. I was lurking, can't really watch Am I the Asshole? I get too agitated. Oh, you think it's bad to watch. Imagine having to read some of those. Ooh boy. There are some, and again, I will reiterate, if you guys have other subreddits you want me to visit, it doesn't always have to be Am I the Asshole. In fact, it probably gets a little stale, to be honest. So if you guys want to look at McMansion Hell or We Want Plates or Just Rolled Into the Shop or any of those subreddits where people bring things to the attention of the rest of the world, we can take a look at that. You know, I'm not averse to it. Oh, okay. How this launch already looks a little scuffed, but I think we're probably just fine. Aside from the spinning. I don't like the spinning. It's a little concerning, actually. Doily, are you doing the spinning? Is that you in there? Okay. We're fine. It's fine, chat. We do need to slow it down a bit, though, because I can see we're going up to 2 Gs. Which is not great. Oh, boy. I tipped over a little too early, I think. We're gonna really have to push against the forces. Someone gifted me a sub in this channel. She plays Soulsborns. Oh, you got a gift sub from somebody who plays Soulsborns and they have adorable little emotes. I see. How fun. I never... Wait. What the heck's a... Oh, Soulsborne. Oh, okay. Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I was like, what the heck's a Soulsborne? Because I was thinking Metroidvania, which is another mashup of little portmanteau there. But yeah, Soulsborns. I am not a Soulsborne gamer, guys. I'm a fake gamer because I don't play Dark Souls. I don't like that style of game, that like third-person action combat boss rush type stuff. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, let's see where our target is and see if we can set up a rendezvous. Ooh, baby. That is one heck of a nice rendezvous there. Let's see if we can extend that into something that actually makes sense. So we're not trying to burn, you know, 1,200 meters a second in less than a second. You're more of a strategist yourself? Yeah, me too. I definitely prefer... I like grand strategy, I like 4X, I like turn-based RPG, stuff like that. How much Fortnite do you play? I have not played Fortnite since the game came out. And I was like, let me see what the Fortnite thing is that all these kids are talking about. Seems like they're real interested in this Fort Fight game. And I immediately got bodied by people who could build the Eiffel Tower in like 2 seconds. You know what, Mighty Stoosh? You have a good point. I do tend to lean more towards strategy games, but I also sometimes I'm just craving something that's really like action oriented. Just something that really like tests your button pressing skills. Or oh, Borderlands. I remember the first Borderlands. There was so much hype for it when it first came out. They're talking about there's a bazillion guns. There's guns that shoot other guns that shoot flaming bullets, and I'm like, I am in. It's gonna be like Diablo. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm gonna play with my friends. I didn't have any friends, but that's besides the point. And then it was fun, and then they did 2, and I was like, okay, this is, the humor is getting a little kind of aging poorly. And I didn't even play 3. You're an Overwatch fan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What a bummer. Not eating good this year in the Overwatch fandom, from what I understand. All right, let's, yeah, we're getting our separation down quite a bit there, which is nice. Just gotta keep going until we got it where we want it. Almost there. Oh, okay, it's going the other way. Let's, oh, okay, other way, other way. And it's making it worse. All right, we'll have to tweak it as we approach. The snarky advertising humor. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. I'm still watching YouTube. You got a problem with that? I can only handle, how do you even describe it? The kind of humor. I feel like it's similar to Justin Roiland, Rick and Morty humor. It's like, okay, in small doses, administered by an appropriate humor physician, that can be enjoyable. But sometimes it's too much overload. And it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but now it's just kind of grating. Gotta keep them separated. Yeah, exactly. Just, it's like, if you have your comedy license and you have a prescription, you can pull it off. But otherwise, maybe just ease off on the like weird LOL whatever humor. I don't know what to call it. I can't decide what the appropriate term would be. It's not edgy most of the time. It's not dark humor. It's not inherently offensive. Maybe like insincere to a certain extent. It's self-aware, but in a way that is not self-aware. It's sardonic. Yeah, basically high on life. Exactly. Oh, isn't it crazy? We're guns and we can talk. Oh, I mean, I've heard people talk about that game and they say it's really funny, but I don't know how long I could stand to listen to my gun like, oh, did you see how I shot that guy? That was so cool. Like, okay, yeah, we get it. Very funny. The guns are all aliens that talk to me. I don't know. Let me look up what sardonic means here in a second, and we'll see if that's an appropriate descriptor for it. Just trying to get a nice little rendezvous. You can and almost have to disable random gun chatter. Oh, okay. If that's an option, then yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Sardonic. The Webster's English Dictionary defines sardonic as grimly mocking or cynical. Sure. I mean, we could call that sardonic. I don't like what do people see in Rick and Morty humor? Okay. So full disclosure, chat, I enjoyed at least the first season of Rick and Morty for the most part. And I think a lot of what made me not want to watch anymore was the way that the fan base was behaving. You call it Rick and Morty humor. Gotcha. There's no word for it. It is what it is. It's a whole new brand of humor. I think maybe Pickle Rick or the Szechuan sauce, like somewhere in there, somewhere in season 2 or whichever season it was when I was like, okay, this is just, it's not worth dealing with these kind of people and being associated with them to watch this show. Rick and Morty fans think they're super smart because they watch a show where there's science jokes. Oh, shoot, we're out of, all right, we're doing another one of these, chat. Here we go. It's a scientist. All right, buddy. Hey, welcome to the space program. Get flying. I suggest you start moving. Get out there. You may have to push. I don't know what the trajectory on this thing is. How did I screw it up this bad, chat? What the heck? Was nobody watching my Delta V? Gotta go fast. That's right. Make like Sonic the Hedgehog and go fast. I will update the Gamba as soon as I can, but right now I'm in the middle of something, so. Whew. There it is. Okay, we're closing in. We should be fine now. Slow it down. Slow it down. Do not crash. Going 100 kilometers a second or whatever. I believe I mentioned several minutes ago, I thought you bungled this. Were you talking about this one or were you talking about the other one? Because the other one was fine. This one just is out of fuel somehow. That's true. The launch was a little bit scuffed. Is this going to enter the atmosphere? It is. Apparently not. Do I send up the claw? I think we have to send up the claw here, chat. I don't really want to, but I also don't want to get out and push because that's stupid. So I think we're gonna send up a claw. But hey, we have enough money so we can afford to upgrade. And oh, hold on. I got to get the Gamba updated. So who voted scientist? You are very lucky today because it is a scientist, right? I'm only at 70K. I'm not going to push it. That's super cheesy. It was... John Lowe is a scientist. Yes, it was a scientist. So let's go ahead and pick scientist. You are winner. Congratulations, everyone. Rillip. He was the only one. He got 4,400 points. Finally, his chickens came home to roost. He won the lottery and then he won the Gamba. Incredible. Way to go, Rillip. We were all rooting for you. Okay. Recover module ZR93 from Orbit of Kerbin. I mean, I am sending a claw up there, but I don't know if I want to do that as well. Hashtag rigged? It's not rigged. What do you mean it's rigged? You guys think everything's rigged. It's not rigged. You guys want it to be a nice bean? We'll see. Actually, halftime is coming up, so it's here right now. Halftime is upon us. I can now do name a character. Name it Pickle Rick. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Rick and Morty anymore, but my friend is. If you even say Rick and or Morty around him, he will freak out. He hates that show. All right, let's get rid of John Lowe's shipwreck. And now we have to find a good place to send up a claw, but that's okay because let's see who posted a funny today. Because now it is time to review the funnies. It looks like there's someone posted something in there, I noticed. So we'll be right back while I get everything set up behind the scenes. There is one funny. Mighty Stusha submitted a funny. If anybody else would like to submit a funny, now is your opportunity to do so. Remember, you can submit them in the Discord, or if you want to post them in the chat at this point, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Okay, so we have it here. We're going to pause the music. And I'm going to set up the window so you guys can see. Let us find out if I will laugh at these quote-unquote funny animals. Okay, animal trying to go down the stairs. Oh, biffing it there. All right, we got an Airbud. Hey, look at that. New Airbud just dropped.
Wanna go outside?
Leo, you want a treat?
Oh, that was quick.
Hey man, it's a free treat. And that's, yeah, don't do that. All right, good try, good try. The animals definitely are more likely to get me than probably anything else. But you didn't get me that time. Good attempt though. Speaking of God of War Ragnarok, I can see somebody in the Discord is in fact playing God of War Ragnarok as we speak. There was some good stuff in there. I don't know if it was because there was rapid fire that I didn't really get an opportunity to. There wasn't enough build up. The booty grab, a cat classic. Yeah, my cat, he is usually pretty good about not clawing me unless he really wants to get my attention, and then he will deliberately like scratch at me gently. Yeah, I think as much as I hate to give you guys tips on how to make me laugh, you gotta have a build up. You have to like lay out. You have to do the setup, then you have to do the payoff. So the setup would be, also I'm noticing I'm still capturing my window before I started. I caught up myself. We don't have to do the thing. You have to start with a premise that is like normal, but then you subvert it somehow. So the thing with the frog, the It Is Wednesday, My Dude's frog that made me laugh. It's, first of all, It Is Wednesday, My Dude's classic meme. You show me a frog, and then you touch the frog and it makes a weird noise. It's got everything I need. You know what, chat? You know what? Here, let me put a video on. You don't even have to see the video. You just have to listen to it. Let me see if I can find this. How do I find this video if I want it? No. Nope. You know what? Okay. Chat, I'm gonna find this video at some point before the next stream, so Monday when I'm streaming, because Emmykins is gonna be streaming on Friday. Does just mentioning bald do the sounder? No, I like to press it. I could probably set it up. The only thing that I have set up that is actually an alert that you guys can trigger is if you spend channel points to either do It's Fine or This Is Fine, or the planet or star. Those are gonna interrupt the stream with a sound clip and a video respectively. All right, let me check my current claw design. How much is that gonna set me back if I launch this thing? It's the Conquistador R? Nope. Oh, the G for grabber. Of course. No, that's not it either. What the heck? What did I call it? Oh, the tug. There it is. The Conquistador tug is what I called it. Yeah, this should do nicely. How much? This cost 47,000 Kerbucks. You're telling me. So you're telling me I gotta spend 47,000 Kerbucks to send this thing into space? That's not gonna happen. Let's do the Let's do the tug L. And we're gonna remove, we'll save it like that, and then we'll remove the side boosters and see if that saves us some money. Not a lot of money, but it saves us a little bit. What if we remove the middle section like so? Is this still a mainsail? I think it is. All right, 32,000, that's a considerable amount we've saved. I think I can deal with that. And then we have enough Delta V once we get into, yeah, that's plenty. I'm not gonna push him. I'm not gonna push him, it's fine. It's pushing is cheese. There should be there's no room for cheese in this house. This is a cheese-free playthrough. All right, let's get everybody out of here that doesn't need to be in there. Midgar, you're up, buddy. Let's just launch and then we'll figure out the details later. But yeah, this is a cheese-free house. You monster. You monster. How could you make this a cheese-free house? Being a Munsters, chat, did anybody see the Munsters movie that Rob Zombie did?
Tell the crew to push the Whopper button.
Emmykins watched it, and I don't know if she said anything like good about it. I think she said it was just kind of boring. And speaking of Emmykins, chat, you guys want to know what she made for dinner? Because I know everybody loves to hear like the food that you don't get to have. Emmykins made kimchi fried rice for dinner, and it was amazing. It was so good. I did not see Wednesday. Emmykins watched Wednesday, and then her and Alien, who she's over on Alien stream right now, twitch.tv/possibly an alien. They're talking about Mr. Robot today, but they talked about Wednesday a couple weeks ago. I did not watch Wednesday, but she did. She's more of a oh boy, not good, not good. Turn it down. I forgot this thing is not good at not flipping over. She watches way more TV than I do. I don't watch much TV. I still haven't finished Mr. Robot, says Mighty Stoosh. Only watched first 2 seasons. Wait, how many seasons are they? I think she only watched the first season. I don't know how much of the show that she watched and now that they're talking about. It wasn't even a backflip Rilip. I managed to save it. It's fine. Everything is gonna be okay. We're going into space. We're gonna do the rescue mission and then we're gonna come back. Or actually, you know what? Maybe I'll just leave Midgar in orbit, because he can just chill up there, and if we get another rescue mission, we'll have somebody on hand to rescue them. You're heading to bed. Hey, all right, MK Ultra, have a good sleep. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the Kerbals tonight. We'll be back for more at some point in the future. I don't know when. I haven't quite given up hope on this speedrun just yet, so I'm getting there. Who rescues the rescuer? Well, so he's gonna rescue them, and then he's gonna also hopefully rescue himself. So theoretically, the rescuer should not need a rescue. Unless you want to get philosophical about it, in which case he's technically also rescuing himself. All right. And we'll go up to, let's say 75, and then we'll cut the engines and then we'll just coast. There we go. You want to get philosophical? All right. Lorem ipsum. Fun. I just wanted to say what it is. Lorem ipsum dolor sit amit consector adipsing elit said though. Wait. Oh, this is a generator. It's just making stuff up. Yeah, maybe don't make stuff up. I was hoping for the actual lorem ipsum. Never mind. Like, why are none of these words actual words? Turns out because it's made up. Is this an exorcism? In a manner of speaking, yes. Just because I'm speaking faux Latin doesn't mean it's an exorcism, though. So, let's take a look at our orbit. We're heading up to 75k. Our target is Rescuer Mark 1. I guess now would be a good time to start the burn again. And get up to our target's orbit. Hey, there we go. There goes the mainsail. And of course I designed this in a weird way, so it's gonna look a little awkward here. Oh, that was unnecessary. Come on now. I don't need to blow up the old one. Oh, this thing has terrible thrust to weight. Ooh. Okay, well, hopefully it can figure it out. How long have I been playing KSP? So I first started playing, I want to say back in 2012. But obviously I haven't played like all the time consistently since then. And I'm not, like, I play a lot of other games too. So I guess I can look at my hours on Steam, which is somewhere around 2,500, I think. But I also played the game before it released on Steam. So conservative estimate, somewhere around 20-something, 2,000-something hours. But let me finish this burn and then I'll double check. 2,500, so a noob then. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the amount of hours that you spend playing the game doesn't really necessarily make you better at something. It's, I guess there's a level of dedication that it shows, but some people can play a game for hundreds of hours and still never improve at it. Like, not, I mean, my wife has played Spelunky a ton and she still hasn't been able to beat the boss. Let's take a look. Steam, tell me, how many hours have I played Kerbal Space Program? Okay, well, apparently it's only 1,500 hours. I thought it was much higher. What is the game I'm thinking of that has that many hours? So we'll conservatively, we'll say somewhere around 1,600 hours I've played Kerbal Space Program. I was way off though. What the heck? What is my most played game? Games. I want to all games. Come on, Steam. By playtime. Okay, so Europa Universalis 4 is my most played game with 1,943 hours. Kerbals is 1,521, and then Oxygen Not Included is 836. So those are my top 3 most played games. Which, thinking back, I don't remember playing that much, but I guess Steam would know. I've spent over 1,000 hours and finished Oxygen Not Included because I love to restart. Am I excited for KSP 2? Like I said earlier, I'm cautiously optimistic. Rilip called it cautiously pessimistic. I don't know what state we can expect the game to be in after all these delays. So I am looking forward to the features that they've said they're going to add. I don't have high hopes they're going to be added in any kind of timely manner though. So, like, I mean, multiplayer, colonization, different star systems you can visit. When that stuff starts rolling out, then maybe there'll be a little bit more hype, a little more excitement on my part. But we're still not quite there yet. We'll have to see how it is at the end of next month when the game finally drops into early access. Take-Two's gonna squat down and plop out a tasty little Kerbal nugget for us to nom on. Hide us over until all the good stuff happens. So what is the best way to do this? I think honestly we have enough Delta V, we can probably just get nuts with it. We'll just burn. Maybe I should redesign the Rescuer Mark 1 so it's a little more robust. Every time I look at how low cost it is, it seems it's such good value for the money until you're sending another rocket to fix the job that it was trying to do. All right, come on, come on. There we go. It's really starting to come down now. And get ready to cut the engines here. There we go. So now we'll just get our separation down nice and low. 6 point whatever. All right, that's as close as we're gonna get. We'll tweak it as we come back in. So that's gonna take 42 minutes. Not a problem. Not gonna eat too much into the speed run any more than anything else already has. So chat, we looked at those movies earlier, all the movies people are, the like highbrow movies that are coming out this year. I know somebody in this chat said they were excited. I don't know why. Someone's excited for the new Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. But is there anything else coming out this year that I should keep my eyes open for? Anything completely nuts, completely off the walls? Maybe a new Nicolas Cage movie. Maybe some awful animated Pinocchio that was waiting in the wings to drop this year when it's not as crowded. Another beloved Disney franchise being turned into a horrible live-action remake. Oh, Cocaine Bear. Yep. Cocaine Bear. People have been talking about that. Yeah, we'll see. We will see Cocaine Bear. At least somebody is making a movie that has like a ridiculous plot. It's been so long since the days of Snakes on a Plane. Sometimes I forget that movies can be off the wall and like zany. Hey, little Joe. You're not allowed to watch another Nick Cage movie until you watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Listen, I only watch one movie a week, if that. So I don't see any Nick Cage movies getting on there anytime soon. Based on real life events. Loosely based on a mostly true story told by a drunk guy that we found at a bar nearby the place where it may have happened. He was convinced that this had actually happened, and we believe him. This is gonna be a nice easy rendezvous now. Perfect. So in 2.5 minutes we'll be within 100 meters of our target, and we'll be able to you know, I just realized, chat, this doesn't have RCS, does it? Oh no, it does. Hey, it does have RCS. I was forward thinking this time. Hey, Drelo is back here for some KSP. Good luck. So I remember Sotari was talking about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent and was saying it was very good. So if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, keep an eye open for that. It could be good. It's a good time. I think I mentioned on Monday that the movie that we watched over the weekend was Captain Ron. So Tari said it was surprisingly fun. Why surprisingly? That makes it sound like you weren't expecting it to be a good time. But a Captain Ron is really very good as pushing it. I mean, I go to movies for fun. So if it's fun, it's good as far as I'm concerned. Captain Ron is old school. It is very old school. I was having a great time. All the characters are very funny. Even the kids. Like you think, oh, child actor, this is gonna be embarrassing. No, the kids are actually really funny. I guess the least funny person is the wife, but she's not really I don't know. She's kind of just along for the ride. Martin Short very much playing the straight man. And of course, good old Catamaran. Just a funny character. And I think Emmykins is taking that, and she's going to have us watch Big Trouble in Little China this weekend. Mighty Stews wants to watch the Burbs again. I've not seen the Burbs. But basically, if your question is, have you seen, the answer is probably not. 20, let's get that down. We don't want to have another Jeb getting exploded incident. Watch it, it's great. Yeah, well, there's a lot of great stuff out there. I don't have the time to watch, just sit down and watch movies. Too busy gaming. I'm practically a full-time gamer now, chap. When I'm not, you know, doing my actual full-time job. All right, how close are we? So this should be really easy. We latch on, we burn a little bit, we drop them off, and then we recircularize, and we just let them cruise on down and get picked up by Kerbin's atmosphere. New segment idea. Has Star watched this movie? The answer will always be no, unless you pick one of the few movies that I've actually seen. Actually, you know what? It doesn't even have to be a segment. Just go ahead, pick like a real good classic movie that everybody agrees is great, and ask me if I've seen it, and the answer is probably not. But then I'll turn around and I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, oh, well, have you played this insert hipster indie game that no one's ever heard of? I didn't think so. So now we're even. All right, come on, RCS. Don't fail me now. Let's go ahead and arm the claw. Princess Bride. I have not seen Princess Bride. The internet's favorite fantasy movie. It's not Lord of the Rings. I have seen chunks of it. I haven't sat down and watched the whole movie though. Which was actually, for the longest time, that was me with Ghostbusters, but then we eventually watched that last year. All right, so this should be pretty easy to catch. We just gotta grab on and then turn around, slow it down by like, I don't know, 50 meters a second, let it go, and then recircularize. It should be very easy job. Are you freaking out because I haven't seen The Princess Bride? Is this one of those stop what you're doing and go watch The Princess Bride right now moments, like I do with Outer Wilds? I would like to point out, chat, none of you have played Outer Wilds, so you can't talk about my lack of watching movies. All right, let's slow this down and get it right on the dang nose. Oh, no, for the anticipation. Are you anticipating the grab, or are you anticipating me watching the movie? All right, so Tari played Outer Wilds. Mighty Stoosh played Outer Wilds, never finished it. How did you never finish it? What do you mean up? Hold on. What's all this talk about updates? Outer Wilds only had like, it had one DLC and like one patch. There was not a whole lot to change there. Lil Joe's never played it. Oh man. It's a very awesome game. I came back to it and totally forgot what I was doing. Right click the chutes and arm them? That won't be necessary. Okay, come on, just trying to drop my periapsis here. Slowing it down. Okay, yeah, let's get that down to like 30. And then we'll turn around, let it go. And then we're off. Off on an adventure. Okay. So look up at the sky. Whoa, hey, hold on. I have it on at SAS on. It's not great. Okay. Disarm. Okay. All right, good luck, guys. I'm gonna recircularize. I'll be switching back to you guys shortly. Let's go ahead and do a full burn here. Have I ever played Graveyard Keeper? No, but I have seen it and I was interested in it. It's a Stardew-like. Well, you guys know how much I love Stardew Valley. There we go. Okay, so we're good. We did it. So Atari played it before the DLC. If you have the opportunity, I highly recommend going back and trying the DLC. It was so much fun. Graveyard Keepers, oh, it's 2/3 off? I should pick it up tonight. Heck, let me just pick it up right now. I got my credit card information all loaded in already. Graveyard Keeper, $7.99. That's a good deal. Oh, there's DLC though? Wait. No, wait. Okay. There's no DLC? There is DLC. Stranger Sins, Game of Crone, and Better Save Soul. What the heck? Better Save Soul? 6 to 12 hours of extra gameplay. All right, well, you know, let me play the vanilla game first, and then I'll think about doing whatever. Purchase for myself. Sure, just get it in there. You guys can't see my credit card info, right? Good. All right, Graveyard Keeper is in the cart. Let's go. I won't install it now because I'm playing KSP. Hey, I got a card. I got a trading card, chat. I hope everybody's been turning those trading cards into badges because that is super fun. Oh no, Mighty Sush got my credit card number. Oh no. You better not buy a bunch of games on Steam with that. And if you do, make sure you give some to me. What a fun night this has been. You know, I'm always hesitant to do these Kerbal streams because I know it's going to be me just sitting here doing the same missions over and over again. But having chat here really makes it tolerable. So you guys are great. Thanks again for everybody for showing up. I couldn't do this if there was no audience. So you basically are 90% of the experience. But hey, if there's anything I can do to make your enjoyment of this stream any amount greater than it already is, just feel free to let me know. That's what I'm here for. We're here for a dialogue. I am speaking, and then you can speak back to me. It's like watching TV, but with live chat. We're tolerable. You guys really, it's tolerable. Oh my gosh, he sure is. I didn't say chat was tolerable. I said you guys make playing KSP tolerable. Because otherwise it's just me sitting here by myself doing boring space missions over and over again. Having chat here while I'm doing the missions makes the experience much, much better. But yeah, I guess, you know, if in the land of the intolerable, the tolerable man is king. So you guys are going to be like kings tonight. Or queens, your choice. Let's see if this hopefully doesn't result in any explosions of any kind, since we no longer have any engine power to work with. See what else we got around here. Like my cat dad mug. Should probably clean it out. Oh, dusty. Got that for Christmas. What else did I get anything else for Christmas? I can't even remember. Oh, I did. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, well, it was around here somewhere. Emmykins must have moved it. It's too bad there's not really any faster way to make money. You could mine if you have the equipment, but you don't, and it takes forever. Yeah, so if I was just playing KSP normally, this wouldn't be a problem, right? I could time warp to a Duna transfer. We could do like a Jewel mission or an Eve mission. like I did for the playthrough last year. But since this is supposed to be a speed run, I have an obligation to try and squeeze as much content or squeeze as much money and science and rep. Not that rep really matters, but we get it as we go. To squeeze as much as I can out of as little time as possible. If I waste time warping, that is time not spent doing missions. What's the parameters for a KSP speedrun? Well, in an actual speedrun, if you're looking at the speedrunning community, it would be like get to the moon, get to the mun as fast as possible. And that would include the use of time warp, which, since I'm going by the in-game timer, it's a little bit different. Honestly, the parameters are mostly just made up by me. It's unlock the tech tree as fast as possible with in-game timer. Satellite missions were always the best money to difficulty ratio unless they changed it recently. I haven't gotten a lot of satellite missions. I don't think. I think I gotta fix a satellite mission. But those are kind of a pain in the butt. Hey, here's a song. What is this from? It's from New Super Mario Brothers. Good stuff. How does Nintendo have such good music for their games? It's kind of ridiculous. Like, think of all the games you've ever played in your life, and then think about the ones that had truly great music versus ones that just had either unmemorable music or music that was actively bad. And I feel like there's not a Nintendo game that has actively bad music. Like, at worst, it's tolerable, or at least non-offensive. But then you have like all the Pokemon stuff, which I guess is technically not Nintendo because it's Game Freak. You have Zelda, Mario. Is Kirby Nintendo? Kirby? I know Donkey Kong, like Donkey Kong Country, when Rare was making those, they had their in-house music guy doing it. He's apparently like a pretty big guy. Kirby is Nintendo. I know it's on Nintendo. I just didn't know if it was Nintendo first party. I guess it must be. But Star Fox. You guys remember Star Fox? Whatever happened to Star Fox? Seems like they had that one great game on the 64, which was a remake of the one from the Super Nintendo. And then they're like, well, what if instead of having Star Fox fly around in a... Oh, okay. Sorry if anybody got dizzy from that. Instead of having Star Fox fly around in a spaceship, what if he was running around as a Star Fox, just on the ground? Because that's what people really want, right? It was only Star Fox 64. Pretty much. That's the only one that anybody cares about. The one I care about, personally. Hades is the first game that pops to mind for good, bad, hard to say, I guess. I don't know that I would remember it. Yep. Mighty Stoosh had Superman 64. I rented Superman 64 back when renting games was a thing that you just kind of did. And I played it, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. This is really hard. Let's just take it back and get Snowboard Kids. Snowboard Kids was... I don't know what it is about snowboarding games, chat, but I was really big into snowboarding games. I played Snowboard Kids, I played SSX, I guess that's it, actually. Well, it doesn't matter, because those were the only important ones to me. I know they have some other snowboarding games out there. SSX Tricky would be super fun to play. I wonder if I could get it working. If I dig out the old PS2 and hooked it up, we could play a little SSX Tricky. Flying through rings with Superman 64. It's like fly through rings, pick things up and throw them, use your ice breath, and use your heat vision, I think it was. And those were the powers. But mostly it was flying through rings, and those were like really tough missions to do because the controls were messed up. Rillips says, I've seen people play it. I don't understand. Did Zack Snyder go back in time to make that game? Yeah, he went back in time. No, he was just around back then, and he made the game. And he's like, someday I'm gonna make a Superman movie that's just like this game. And then he did it. And now he's a hero. Speaking of renting video games, did I tell you guys about when I was, I must have been like 12-ish, somewhere around there. I want to say we rented a PS2 from like Blockbuster, and I had the game, but I didn't have the memory card. So I could play the game, but I couldn't save it. So I just had to leave the console on and then hopefully beat it before I took the game back, which if you remember the PS2, those were not typically short games. So, and I want to say the game was Dark Cloud, which is a actually a pretty long RPG. You're not going to beat that in even like a couple of sittings. Speaking of Superman, did you see Warner Brothers is letting Ezra Miller come back? Of course they are. He can do no wrong. He's got dirt on the Warner Brothers executives. Literal Fugitive can come back to his role, but they ditch Cavill. I don't think I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers DC stuff. It's nuts. They have something going on with Ezra Miller. I don't get it. But then they're losing all their good guys. But then they have James Gunn, who's now in charge of the whole thing. So who knows what's gonna happen? I don't know if I would personally pick James Gunn to be in charge of my DC universe. Probably not my first choice, although he seems to have a much more invested mindset as opposed to Zack Snyder, who was just like, so yeah, like superheroes suck, and I'm gonna make movies where superheroes suck. And also Superman is like Jesus, but Jesus is bad, so I'm gonna make a movie about how that works. He got the original reel to Batwoman. He'll leak it if they don't keep putting him in movies. Exactly. He's got the tape. He's got the film hidden away somewhere, and if they stop putting him in movies, he's gonna leak it to the internet. And then Warner Brothers will lose billions in tax write-offs or whatever, because that's apparently a thing. All right, just about time to pop the drogue shoots here. We are slowing down considerably. I'm watching the velocity here. It's going down pretty good. Yeah, I heard apparently Black Adam 2 is not happening now as well, and The Rock is very upset. I guess he should stay hungry. About drive, it's about power. It's about Black Adam. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't cared about the DC universe since ever. Like, if they had started off making some good movies, maybe I'd be a little more invested, but the reality is they started off on bad footing and it just got worse from there. Now, if you're a DC fanboy, if you're gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, Starshard actually, some of the movies were actually, I quite enjoyed Man of Steel. I'm not trying to discredit your liking of those movies, but you should realize that that's not what most people, including me, want out of a superhero movie. I don't think most people are looking for a grim, gritty, sort of subversion of the traditional hero narrative, where, oh, he's a good guy, but also he's like, he doesn't like being a hero, or he shouldn't have to be a hero because he doesn't owe the world anything. Like, what happened to with great power comes great responsibility, man? And yeah, the animated stuff has always been a lot better. I mean, going back to the 90s even. I don't know. I feel like I have a lot to say about these things that I actually don't consume. So maybe it's I'm not the best person to go to for that kind of information. Most of this stuff is secondhand. Although I will say Zack Snyder just needs to make Sucker Punch 2, 3, 4, and 5, and maybe he'd be a lot happier. Like Sucker Punch 2, this time they're even sexier and the robots are even bigger. Because that's what he wants to do. He wants to make things that he thinks are deep with hot babes and giant robots fighting Nazis, and it all takes place in an insane asylum for women or something like that. Just let him make those forever. Let him go to his own little corner and he can make those movies. Have you ever seen Man of Steel without the Snyder filter? I think the movie could literally have done 20% better with just that. No. What is it, like color grading? He did some kind of weird color grading to make it look even more dour. You guys just don't understand me. Is this the Mario Kart music? Yes, it is. This is what is this? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wi-Fi course selection. Kind of a weird song to have on this playlist, but whatever. Imagine you get the opportunity to make, somebody calls you up, somebody from a big studio is like, hey, so we're making this new superhero franchise to compete with Marvel. How should we do it? And your first idea is like, well, let's do Superman, except he's like dark and edgy. And they're just like, yeah, whatever, man, that sounds great. I don't know, it's just I guess it's an option. You're maybe trying to directly compete with Marvel is a bad idea. You put a screenshot? Let me take a look at this. Oh, that does look a lot. I mean, the movie still isn't very good. It looks a little bit better. And I see McMathy put an XKCD comic in there. Good call. Been a while since I caught up on those. All right, mission control. What do we got? Repair a satellite in orbit of Kerbin. I get an advance on it. That's kind of fun. And this music is, I believe, Earthbound, in case anyone's wondering. All right, so we can now afford to buy the upgrade. However, we'll only have 20,000 space bucks left over, which isn't really enough to do anything. Oh, you know what? Let's buy it. No, because then we won't have enough for the Bravioli, give me the Formuoli. We need to attach a new part to a satellite. Repair a satellite. Finish construction of a rover. Build a new orbital station around the sun. I mean, wouldn't be that hard. Yeah, it's trivial. The problem is the advance and the payout is not very good. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't change the problems with the writing or the plot, but it does certainly make the movie more appealing to my eyes. I hate society because I'm a goth, like the young kids vibes. He put on his baseball cap, he turned it backwards. How do you do, fellow goths? Like, all right, buddy. Ease up on that kind of nonsense. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna head back to the Mun, and we're gonna do a quick return mission. Yeah, you should be in a stable orbit at about 75. Yep, you are. Let's hit up the Conquistador and see what we're working with here. I don't actually know who's on board this. I'm guessing it's a pilot and 2 pilots and an engineer. It's Jeb, Barfred, and Shelby. Yep. And we got the science. We did get the science. And we have plenty of Delta V, so I guess let's close up the doors. Review data. Yeah, let's actually, Barfred, can you grab that stuff, please? Take the data, take the data, take the data, and board. And now comes the fun part. We get to try to lift off from this really awkward position. But that shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. The hard part is going to be getting into an orbit, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're kind of high up on the pole. Actually, a really good position to watch Kerbin from. All right, how are we going to do this? Maybe we just go straight north and get into a polar orbit again. Let's try that. All right, full throttle. Let's go. Whee! Yeah, this seems to be working pretty well. Go ahead and put on the maneuver mode so we can see where our apoapsis and periapsis are. And oh, chat, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Earth was at aphelion today, or perihelion, one of the two. Hold on, let me check. I'm gonna pause just to make sure. Earth at perihelion. Okay, we're at perihelion today. So we're at the closest we're going to be to the sun all year. Isn't that fun? It is interesting that that also happens to coincide with like the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere. It's kind of a cool coincidence how that works. Okay, let's maybe ease up a bit on the angle there before we slam into the ground going 300 meters a second. I hope we remember to start our burn. Really, don't even talk about that movie in this chat. See if anybody can figure out what movie I'm talking about. It's really stupid. It's not scientifically accurate, which I guess a movie doesn't have to be scientifically accurate to be entertaining. But the premise is almost as bad as Moonfall. I don't know what movie. I meant it as a KSP reference. I know, Rilla. So there's a movie called The Wandering Earth, which is about humanity in the future finding out the sun is gonna go out. So I guess it's the same plot as Sunshine. And instead of just being like, oh, well, we're all gonna die, they're like, I have an idea. Let's put giant rocket engines on the Earth and we'll just push the Earth out of the solar system and into deep space so we can find a new home. Called The Wandering Earth. It's a Chinese movie. And I guess everybody lives underground and it's like a frozen wasteland on the surface. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Yeah, exactly. Movies where the sun goes out is always one of the dumbest things. Yeah, like that clip that I showed from Star Trek where Malcolm McDowell shoots the rocket into the sun and then it just goes out. And it's like, oh, that's not how that works. But whatever, it's science fiction. I guess you can do whatever you want. We have to restart the sun. We have to send this small ship. Like, okay, well, what does the ship have that can restart the sun? You know what? You know, why am I even talking about this? I'm gonna look up what the plot of that is. Sunshine movie plot. In the not too distant future, Earth's dying sun. Hold on. Earth's dying. The sun is dying and Earth is freezing. 8 international astronauts pilot a colossal stellar bomb aboard the spaceship Icarus II with the intent of jump-starting the sun and then returning to Earth. As they pass near Mercury, Icarus II picks up the distress beacon of Icarus I. Why? I will never understand why a spaceship would have a distress beacon. Like, no one's gonna find that shit. That ship was the first to attempt a similar mission and disappeared 7 years earlier. The ship's proximity to the sun kept its signals from reaching Earth. The iron core of Mercury acts as an antenna, amplifying the signal and allowing Icarus II to intercept it. Can we please explain what kind of bombs are being used to restart the sun? Whoa, Chris Evans is in this? What the heck? We might have to watch it. Michelle Yeoh? Wait, this movie has people in it. Benedict Wong? Wait, the Benedict Wong? What the heck? How did I not know that there were like people in this? The sun will expand so much it will engulf the earth long before it could possibly exhaust its fuel. Yeah, well, people don't know about Red Giants. They don't get it. I've seen it. It was well filmed, but the story ruined it for me. Yeah, it's like Armageddon. Or something to that effect. Like, could you have... I mean, this would have worked if it was like a less stupid story, but it's a very stupid story, unfortunately. Oh man, chap. I'm all of a sudden very tired. Fortunately, we're almost done. We're gonna do this mission also. Hey, thanks for keeping track of my app-lapses, chat. I almost missed it. Go ahead and start our burn so we don't crash into the surface of the mun. These beautiful poles. Oh, we're going over the pole. Look at the nav ball. It's spinning. That's how you know you just went over the pole. Flipped it did a 360 and walked away. You know what we could do, chat? I know other streamers do this. And I know Emmykin suggested it a while ago. Who is interested? Obviously, we can't watch movies on Twitch. We can't just be like, hey, I'm gonna watch Everything Everywhere All at Once live on Twitch. Come watch me. But we can watch movies on Discord until we get caught, I guess. Would anybody be interested in like a stream, like maybe once a month or once every other month or something? We do like a stream movie night where everybody gets together in Discord and we all watch a movie and maybe there's commentary. There's a new batch of public domain films out now, but it's from 1927. Yeah, well, I don't care about those because those were probably gross. But I'm specifically talking about watching like real movies in with chat, but not on Twitch. Anyone down for some KSP? Hey, well, you've come to the right place if you are, because we're playing it right now. And hey, welcome, the Gleam 22. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, you beat Rillips down to MST3K. You thought this was another game? Okay, well, fortunately for you, it is not. It's KSP. We're heading to Apoapsis here. I don't know how much riffing I could do for like an actual movie. It's a lot easier with bad movies specifically, or movies that I find... Night of the Living Dead is not a bad movie, but it's certainly got some interesting choices for the characterization, some of the dialogue. It's definitely the kind of movie you can do commentary for, as we discovered when I did commentary for it for Halloween. Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa is just a bad movie that for some reason has Mark Hamill in it. And that was a good time. And I know Emmykins has a big list of spooky movies she wants to do for Halloween. I have another Mark Hamill joint that I would like to do on stream that I think everyone will enjoy quite a bit. I'm still working out the details on that one. I gotta talk to a guy about a horse. And we'll see if we can get that streamed at some point. And oh, it's another minute to Apoapsis. My mistake. Thought we were very close. So, what else? Sunshine, yeah. So is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy? K as in kind. It's Cillian Murphy. Okay. Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, who was in other things. I'd imagine this game is a lot easier to get into when you're playing it. Wait, what? $23. Yeah, KSP is easier. It's easier to get into when you're playing it. And how else would you get into it? You have to play it. Or you mean like it's easier to watch if you're someone who's played it, because otherwise you have no idea what's going on. Oh, get into meaning learning it. Okay. Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. All right, chat. I need an orbital mechanics expert to tell me where I should burn to get back to Kerbin. I guess we can just do a quick maneuver check and find out where that takes us. That seems to be working. And we're gonna do this. Oh, I see, because we're gonna be going over the top. So we want to shoot off the back. That makes sense. All right, all right, all right. We got it now. Shouldn't be an issue. I remember the last time we had a polar orbit like this, we ran out of Delta V and had to send the rescue claw. So it's just I didn't really get a good look at what kind of maneuver we needed to do. All right, let's do a quick slingshot around the moon. Also, okay, so in Armageddon, the space shuttles that they're using to land on the asteroid or whatever, they do some kind of slingshot maneuver around the moon, and then they catch up to the asteroid. What are the physics of that? If the asteroid is already past the orbit of the moon, because presumably if the asteroid's just on a straight collision course, it's probably going pretty fast. In fact, I know it's going pretty fast because it's flying through space. Let's say there's an asteroid heading right for Kerbin. I don't have time to launch a moon mission, slingshot around the mun, and then like catch up by the time the asteroid would have to be like way out here on its way, and it would I'd have to time it so that I'm perfectly. I gotta burn here in a second. Hold on. I haven't seen that movie in so long, chat. I don't remember. It's already within, yeah, if it's already within the orbit of the moon, you're dead, so you're not going to catch up to it in that time. The whole plot of that movie is terrible. I didn't realize as a kid when I was seeing it for the first time. It was like, oh, space, that's so cool. Explosions, Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck. I at the time I didn't know who these people were, but now I recognize them. Explosions. But yeah. Have they ever made a movie? I know people hype up like Gravity, or what's the one with the black hole? Not Inception. That's the dream one. Chat, help me out here. What's the one with the black hole? Not Arrival, not Passengers. No, not Event Horizon. Not Event Horizon. Not that. Does that have a black hole? I thought that had like a 40K warp drive. No, it's the one. It's got Matthew McConaughey in it. It's the Christopher Nolan one. What the heck is the name of this movie? Oh. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the name of this movie. Starts with an I. Interstellar. Thank you. Okay. So, people hype that movie up. People hype up Gravity. What is the movie Not based on like a historical event. So not, you can't be like, oh, Apollo 11 or whatever. That it has the most accurate space physics. So Tari loved Interstellar. Isn't the whole plot of the movie that love is like the strongest force in the universe? That's a little contrived, don't you think? I mean, the visuals are cool, I guess. Like, love is stronger than the weak nuclear force. Like, I don't know about that. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and point here. Lower it down manually now. 20 kilometers ought to be good. And we're off. Okay. Set the alarm for 10 seconds. And we're good to go. I want to say Gattaca, but it's extremely cheating. Does Gattaca even have space physics in it? The bookshelf scene was mind-blowing. Okay. So, again, this is another Star Shards never seen situation. I've never seen Interstellar. I watched a YouTube video that was explaining what was going on. So Matthew McConaughey goes into the black hole and then he comes out in the bookshelf because of love. Is that about right? It's okay if it's not right. I just want to know. Or it's okay if it is right. I'm not mad at you for making the movie, Christopher Nolan. I just want to know. The gravitational force of love. It is, but it isn't. It's rather an argument that in a universe where quantum observation is desire, can change an outcome. And love creates strong desire. Okay, sure. I guess that makes sense. It doesn't work in KSP though. Isn't KSP 2 supposed to have a system with a black hole in it or something like that? Maybe not. Stationeers has a planet that's orbiting a black hole, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. Quantum modeling in no quantum modeling in KSP. It's not realistic enough. They better put quantum modeling in KSP 2. Quantum observation is a function collapse. And okay, so the movie is making the argument, or at least the conceit of the film is that because Matthew McConaughey loves his daughter so much that in a quantum state he's able to affect things four-dimensionally because he just really wants to, something like that. Am I on the right track? I don't agree with it. I think it's kind of dumb, honestly, but I mean, wouldn't be the first time I thought the plot of a movie was stupid. Have you guys seen the Star Wars prequels? Wait a minute. Oh, I was wondering why I had a 159-day alarm clock for our solar satellite. The scene where he's behind the bookshelf is where the fifth dimensional beings... Oh, that's right, because there's like aliens. They placed him in a tesseract to provide him a proper outlet he can understand. Oh, okay. I missed the part with the aliens. Or fifth dimensional beings, whatever. Yeah, it's like 2001 A Space Odyssey, right? At the end, where he, like, transitions to a higher plane of existence. God dang Spielberg aliens. I mean, remember AI? AI kind of had aliens at the end. To teach Haley Joel Osment that you can get what you want, but only for one day, and then you're gonna be sad the rest of your life, I guess. What a weird ass movie that was. Of all the movies that I've actually seen, how is it that I've seen AI? Like, what the heck? That was the weirdest, dumbest twist I've ever seen in a movie, says Rilla. It was, oh man, that movie. First it confused me, and then it kind of pissed me off. Like, that's what this was leading up to? who greenlit this? You're telling me Stanley Kubrick wrote this? Just insanity. All right, let's pop into the Space Center to double check. See if we don't have any missions we can pick up while we're on the way back. Haven't seen The Princess Bride, but I have seen AI. All 3 hours of it. New Orbital Station, Ferry Tourists. How much money are we looking at here? Fly by the Sun, orbit around the Sun. You guys are gonna have to figure that out with somebody else. I'm not gonna do it. Finish construction of a rover. All right, yeah, nothing good here. As much as I appreciate 2001 for what it was super boring. Yeah, I think, well, it's based on a book. I mean, it's mostly an excuse for Stanley Kubrick to do a bunch of like awesome, much like Interstellar, it's an excuse to just have a bunch of awesome space visual effects going on. It's like, oh, well, so you see there's these monoliths that these aliens put around to make animals smarter. Wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Switch back to the correct conquistador. And then as you find more, you unlock the ability to find even more, and then so on and so forth until you ascend. Alien movies was very sci-fi. You know what? That's a good point. The Alien movies are probably one of the more hard sci-fi franchises. At least the first one. Everybody has to be in hypersleep during transit because time dilation or whatever. You are aging slower than all your family and relatives back home. Stuff like that. Yeah, that doesn't usually get considered for stuff. Most, like, Star Trek has warp drives. I guess Alien has some kind of faster than light travel, but I don't know exactly what they use or if it's mentioned in the first movie. Probably somewhere. It's like, oh yeah, well we gotta kick the light speed drives into place before we can go into hypersleep. All right, team, are you guys ready for re-entry? Jeb, you look very excited. I know you're glad to be back planet side so we can send you out on another mission. Sartari liked Prometheus. Oh. Minus the dumb parts. Wasn't like 90% of the movie dumb parts though? 90. Oh, okay, 90%. That's probably a little over the top. It's a subtle observation of our time as all sci-fi. Good point. It really is. It is interesting. Speaking of sci-fi, so Dune Part 2 is coming out this year. The original Dune was released in like 1962 or something like that. You look. It's the first. No, not the Wikipedia. Come on now. Dune. That's a video game. 1965 it came out. So the original Dune book came out in 1965. And now here in 2023, they're releasing a Dune movie. I know they did the one back in the 80s. Nobody cares about that. Had Patrick Stewart in it. And a bunch of other cool people. But I feel like the well of sci-fi is kind of limited to mostly people, at least as far as like big budget movies go. And if you're Will Smith, you can just be like, I want to be an iRobot. I want like 100 robots for me to shoot at. Because, you know, why not? Oh, yeah, we should probably decouple here so we don't burn ourselves up. Turn that off. There's another I Am Legend coming. Oh boy. Is there really? This I gotta see. I Am Legend 2. Is it called I Am Legend 2? No. No, no, no. Come on. I Am Legend 2. Plot, cast, and everything else we know. Will Smith is gonna be in it. Is he really? Is he allowed to be in movies? Oh no. So Michael B. Jordan made a pitch. Jordan helped propel the success of movies. Black Panther and Creed will also star Smith in the film. Yeah, after the Oscars, I'm surprised they're letting him be in movies still. I mean, it's not the worst thing a celebrity's done and still been allowed. I mean, Ezra Miller's apparently still hanging out in the DC universe. The only movie sequel I want from Smith is Hancock 2. What could they even do in a Hancock 2? Actually, you know what? This is a good idea. Okay, we take Hancock, we turn it into like the Iron Man of a new Will Smith cinematic universe where all the superheroes are played by Will Smith. So you got Hancock, you could have like a Will Smith version of the Flash, you could have like a Will Smith Iron Man character. Hancock 2, even more cock. Where's Michael Moorcock when you need him? Yeah, this is a really quiet song. It is still playing. Just had to check. That reminds me, what was that movie? Recent Angelina Jolie. Red? Salt? Tomb Raider? That's a fun. I don't know. Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie movies. Thanks, Google, for The Eternals? She was in The Eternals, I guess, and Those Who Wish Me Dead, and Maleficent in 2019. She's in a gorilla movie called The One and Only Ivan, which I've literally never heard of until I clicked on this, and it apparently stars Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston. Wow, what a world we live in. She was not in Immortals. She was in Eternals. The Immortals was the one... Oh, no, I'm thinking of the Inhumans. Who the heck are the Immortals? Is that also a Marvel superhero group? The Immortals from 2011 or 1995. Hey. It's got Henry Cavill, Frida Pinto, Mickey Rourke, Isabel Lucas, Luke Evans. No relation. See, 2011 American fantasy action film. It came out 11/11/11. Wow. Starring Henry Cavill, Stephen. Okay, that was the rest of the rocket exploding somewhere. Don't care. The 12 Olympians imprison the Titans beneath Mount Tartarus, losing the powerful Epirus bow. King Hyperion searches for the bow to release the Titans. Wasn't Hyperion one of the Titans? Hyperion attempts to capture the virgin oracle Phaedra to use her dreams and visions to find it. He heard that a man named Theseus will slay him. Oh boy. It's just like a movie executive heard that the Greek gods had like these really interesting stories, and they're just like, somebody write me a Greek themed fantasy movie. All right, well, we got the Titans and Theseus, and then all the Olympians and Agamemnon and blah 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 blah. I think the Eternals maybe would have been better as a TV show, with the first however many episodes focusing on each Eternal, and then at the end they all like come together Marvel's Avengers style. But maybe that's just me. Okay, science data from Space Around the Mun. Let's grab that quick, because that'll be fast. And that's the Mun station. We talk so much about movies around here. That's the reason why last year I started doing the 1 movie a week thing, because I felt like I didn't have enough movie knowledge to be able to talk about movies on... Oh, I don't have electricity. That sucks. Where's the sun? Hello, sun. We have to wait a second here. Most movies would be better as a series, unless you're doing something like a Spielberg or a Cameron. Here's the problem I have with a series that I've noticed a lot. It's like things that should be a series they make into movies, and things that should be movies they make into series. Like, you're not gonna... There's only so much you can squeeze out of something, but then there's also only so much you can condense something, and it seems like they constantly do the opposite. Yes, here comes the sun. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I used to be able to play that on the guitar, and then I goofed it. Let me... You know what? While we're up here, let me check something. Go. Hold on just a second, chat. Oh, the wall. Can I get this to work? Guitar. Oh yeah. Oh, I got tangled up in the cords. Where's my pick? I need my guitar pick. That's a nice guitar. This is like the cheapest guitar I could get. But I figured, you know, Ice King's out there. He's shredding on his stream. Maybe I can do something with that, you know? When did Ice King lose his hair? Yeah. Yeah. All right, how's that coming through on the stream chat? It looks like it's about right. Let me pause the music here. So how do I play Here Comes the Sun? Here comes the sun. Here comes Santa Claus. Yeah, that's what I definitely wanted. The sun. Give me those tabbies. Arpeggiatura, how's... It's a little out of tune. Yeah, probably. How's that video game coming along? See if I do this. That doesn't sound right. This is the right string, right? Or am I on the wrong? I want to be on, okay, 3, 0. Oh, yeah, that's okay. That sounds about right. I don't think OBS is going to be able to fix that. Yeah, I'd have to dig out the tuner, which I'm not going to do right now. But hey, I got the guitar out. It's serving its purpose as a prop for the stream. So we're going to unhook that. Ah, there we go. The important thing is that it still works, and I'm not letting it go to waste. Getting that cable. Just stay right there, don't move. All right, we're good. I'm coming back. Okay. So remind me, chat, I gotta bust out the guitar more often and do some practice, because otherwise it's just sitting there. I have a tuner on the computer, but it's in Rocksmith, and I'm not gonna go through all that trouble right now because it's almost time to end the stream anyway. So let's recap the events of today. We did a rescue mission. We got a bunch of science. We got a bunch of money. Okay, Rilip is reminding me. I have to bust out the guitar more often and practice. Yes. Because the reason that... Oh, science data from Speedrun Miss. We can do that. The reason Ice King is so popular is because he plays guitar on stream. So if I play guitar on stream, I will then therefore become popular. What the heck is unknown? Toggle unknown? What is this? Is this an asteroid that I've spotted? Oh, there it is. Unknown object. Huge. Big mistake. Huge. Gotta go to the min station. So, guitar is here. It does work. I will tune it. And that cable that Ice King recommended to me is putting in the work there. Are we on electric charge? We're good. Do a quick temperature there. Transmit that. We got the data. Got the science. So chat, I just want to, as I wrap it up here, as the 9 o'clock hour approaches, and yeah, it's a USB hookup. It's the official Rocksmith cable that Ice King recommended to me. Anyway, as we wrap it up here, I just want to thank everybody so much for coming out and supporting the stream. Remember, just being here is supporting the stream. You don't have to you don't have to sub, you don't even have to follow, honestly. Just being here, hanging out and chat is super awesome of you. I would like at some point this year to you know, reach the level of XQC, and every person in this chat is helping that happen. I think it's time. I think we're gonna upgrade. Boom. R&D maxed out. Let's go. Where's my gravioli? Gravioli, give me the formuoli. We got ion propulsion, advanced unmanned tech, automation, specialized electrics. I don't know why I would... the rechargeable battery bank's pretty cool. We don't need RTGs yet. We're not quite there. We did the thing. It only took us 2 months. 2 months and some change. Was it? No, because we started at the beginning of November. So yeah, 2 months. That's about right. Now we just need to retrofit all of our old stuff. Gotta support the Star Shard. That's right. You guys support me. You guys have a cool place to hang out and chat about whatever. And I want everyone to remember, if you are a fan of Emmykins, she will be on the stream on Friday. She will be playing Spelunky. She will be probably failing, but if you want to come check it out, she will be here. She'll be chatting with chat. I'll be there to make sure nobody's doing anything untoward to her. You guys have to be nice to her. She does a lot for the stream and for me. What am I doing? I don't need to design anything right now. Let's get out of here. And then the big announcement, I don't know if I mentioned this early in the stream. It's totally blanked on me. Weird Tuesdays will be making a comeback in 2023. So if you guys remember last year, me and possibly an alien would stream together on Tuesdays where we would talk about weird stuff. Just we would try to one up the weird every week. And we had an idea. We talked about it yesterday, and I was like, we gotta do a stream. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, let's do it. I said, when? She's like, next Tuesday. And I'm okay, next Tuesday, fine. So we are gonna be doing something weird next Tuesday. She's gonna be over here on the stream. It's gonna be, it's kind of like a podcast, but it's on Twitch. So you can watch live, you can watch the VOD, whatever. But it was a thing we did last year that we had to stop doing, and I want to try to bring it back. If not every Tuesday, then at least occasionally, like maybe like once a month or something. Smash or pass chat emojis. That's not what the topic is this week. I don't want to spoil the topic. It's gonna be, it's pretty weird. and it's pretty funny, I think. So let me go ahead and do this. We're gonna take a look. I think she's still streaming, so hey, you know what, chat? I'll just send you guys over there. Wait, no, she's done. She's done streaming, chat. That's too bad. Who shall we raid, chat? Shall we raid the old standby, Matt Comart? Or perhaps a new fella? What are you playing? You guys are here for Kerbal Space Program. Let's just head over there. Oh wait, no, there's nobody's here, chat. Chat, nobody's here. We're not gonna raid tonight. It's fine. Okay, you guys want to pass on Star Chad, but smash on Pigman. Everybody wants to smash Pigman. So everybody have a great night. I'm just gonna end the stream. I will see you guys on Friday for Emmykins, and then Monday for I don't know yet. Probably Kerbals or something. So everybody have a great night, and I will see you then.